yeah.
Mayor,
really
thank you.
does.
Oh, thank you guys. Thank you so much. Really
Thank you.
appreciate it.
Thank you for the things.
We're double this right now.
Oh, that's right. Cubby Blue.
That's right. That's
All right, enough.
Are we allowed to say anything?
Oh, yes, absolutely. You can go right to that screen right there. Absolutely. Yep.
What does she have something to say?
So for anybody who doesn't know, the checks that were given were the proceeds from the 50/50 raffle that we do all summer long during our summer concert series, except for the concert for the troops. And this year, it was, what was the total, Bob? 200. Or total for the, so $1,200 roughly, something like that?
Yeah, that's amazing. 12, John? It was 280 of it.
Yeah, 280 apiece that, and I know it's not a ton, but at the same time, we also know you guys get to stretch that a lot farther than, as I've said a whole bunch of times, a lot farther than somebody who drops off a bag of food. That $283 can become, what, $1,200, $1,300 through the Northern Illinois Food Bank? And that's huge. So we're glad we're able to do this. Trustee Geezer was out selling the 50/50 raffle tickets every single concert. And then we had a table up too, and then I did some of the tickets, and but it was mainly Rick out selling them. We made him walk around on a bum knee. So so maybe next year it'll be better. You know, we can work him a little harder.
That's now public. Can I put in my bill, my injury bill as an
Guys, in
expense?
my township, I can help too. I'll go out and pedal some.
Thursday nights.
I want to let you know real quick, just so you know, $272, and I shared this with another esteemed gentleman back there, that's in our county board. I told him we received 7 pallets of food from the Northern Illinois Food Bank, $272. This is going to go a long way.
Great.
That's awesome.
It's all yours.
Okay. My name is Carol Platt, and I am blessed to be the coordinator for the food pantry at Lutheran Church of the Master in Carroll Stream. I cannot even begin to tell you what a giving, compassionate people live in Carroll Stream. Some of our donations are unbelievable. And of course, heading the list is your mayor. We count on him every year because his donations are the best. And we so appreciate it. And today, I was given another thing from Grunt Style, 700 pounds of shelf-stable product.
Wow.
Phenomenal. Product that at this point in time, I can't order from the food bank because they don't have it. So this will go such a long way. And every day somebody from Carroll Stream comes by and hands me something, and hands me something. And I have 2 or 3 guardian angels that live in Carroll Stream. For a fact, 2 of them in 1 month gave me more product than I was getting from some of my stores. So I am so blessed to be in this pantry in Carroll Stream. And you are, without a doubt, led by your mayor, a very compassionate, caring town. Thank you.
Thank you. That might be the nicest thing anybody's ever said about me since I've been here in 16 years. Thank you. But it comes from my heart, as it does from everybody else up here that sells raffle tickets and tries to make, to create that fund so you can go and have food. I'm just fortunate that I'm able to do that and help, and I run with the group that we do a lot of charity work with. And I know what you're talking about when we bring the boxes with the 50 pounds of, and we bring you 25 or 30 of them. We also do the same thing for our friend in the back from Wayne Township. his mother looks forward to doing that, Juanita. We've been giving her bicycles and food for years. We all appreciate what you do to help the people, all the food banks. And I know like Milton Township, what they've done in their food bank to remodel that whole thing is phenomenal, what they did there. It's just amazing what a small space, how well they made everything turn out to help people. And that's what it's all about. It's all about helping people. Just like Trustee McCarthy said, Trustee Geezer was on a bad leg. And I mean, he was going for surgery and he was still out there selling tickets. And that's like amazing. So, thank you to everybody that made this all happen, but thank you for what yous do, because if you weren't there, I don't know where these people would be getting their food from. I mean, and you know how bad it is. I mean, there'd be people waiting for stuff for people to bring it in. And I think it might have been you that told me there was, a lot of the people that come in now and ask for food used to be people that brought food in. So it's like, yeah, I mean, and
Two of my volunteers at this time right now did come to the pantry 4 or 5 years ago when they needed food, and they're now giving back.
that's amazing. And they knew when they needed it, you were there for them. So now that they're in a better spot, they can do that. I will always support you. I will always support neighborhood food pantries and the rest of whatever I could do. So, but thank you for what you do. What I do is small compared to what you do.
Yeah.
So,
What you do makes it possible for us to do what we do. So don't ever think that walking through a concert is a small thing, because we couldn't do what we do without you guys doing what you do.
well, and we're getting ready to gear up for a bags thing again, so we'll raise a lot more money, hopefully. You know.
And I don't know if anyone, John and Milton Township, they have a community garden that they're raising crops,
Really?
for fresh crops. It's over by the St. Stephen Cemetery.
Okay.
In Carroll Stream, and I've gone over there a few times to help them weed, but it is all right. It is,
That's where you get all your vegetables from.
Oh, okay.
He actually, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but Rick came and actually helped us physically with his wife
Yeah.
to weed out some of the stuff, and really appreciate that.
And now that Trustee Geezer's knee has been fixed, we expect him to double the ticket sales.
Double
Well, what he was gonna do was take you over and show you where it's at, so you could help him.
But the mayor mentioned about bags, which is in the winter, of course, but all you guys pay attention to Facebook and social media when we do our bags tournament, because that's why we were able to donate as much as we were able to last year. Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome.
And you mentioned Grunstyle, we were at the car show, our police department actually is part of that Grunstyle show, and I've been working with them since the first show.
And I'd like to get to know them better. I just found out, Dino, that 2 police officers delivered all this product today, and they told me about these, and I want to meet these people, because I have an outside project with Lutheran Church of the Master, which comes from a group that I work with at St. Isidore's called Focus on Hunger, and we do Colony Park
Oh,
2 times a month, and the main focus that we do are veterans. Because when I called them and asked them, I called the manager several years ago and said, what is the biggest, who do you have that has the biggest need? And she said, veterans. So we make sure that half of what we do every month is just veterans.
You need to have a conversation with that man in the back there. That's Bill and his wife Sue. They do Violet's Kitchen, and their main goal is to feed homeless vets and feed anybody who's hungry. So there might be a great connection there.
and there's a story in itself. They live in Carroll Stream, and she started this with her husband and worked it into a 501c3 on her own, with her own money, cooked the food, and then brought it to the people that needed it. And that is absolutely what this town is about. There's a perfect example right there. So, great people to work with, too. Violet's Kitchen is somebody my group outside of Carroll Stream is looking at right now to make a donation to. Hopefully, we'll be able to pull that off and help her make their life a little bit easier and help more people. So, but thank you. Thank you all for what you do, because I know how many people you feed. So it's amazing when I go to Wayne Township and I see all them cars lined up. Where would they go for the food if it wasn't for the townships and for the food banks? You know, and it wouldn't happen. I don't know what they would do. I don't think they know what they would do. It's a relief to know that you've got at least a week's worth of food maybe to feed your family. And hopefully you can come back next week and there'd be more food there for you to be able to get. So, but thank you for taking care of everybody, and it doesn't matter who they are when they come in, you don't turn people away, and that's the good thing. So, thank you very much.
Thank you for everything you do.
Thank you.
That was quite exciting to hear that the bags just for one food pantry, 2 months' worth of food.
Awesome. It was all about the T-shirts.
It was the T-shirts.
Is that your community drive that you do every year?
It's just a fundraiser that is morphed into a,
It's a separate,
I always get at least 2,600 pounds of product from that.
that's awesome.
Thank you. I'm sorry. Oh, Rich Hildebrand, did you want to speak? Did you?
Yes, he submitted a listening post public comment.
Pardon me?
He submitted a request to come up and speak. I didn't
It's
know if you
after
wanted
the
to wait until after the
proclamation.
Oh,
proclamation.
okay. Well, let's get on with the stuff here. And then we have a proclamation recognizing September 3rd to the 9th, 2023, National Payroll Week, and Trustee Geezer sent me a message and said he would like to read that, so it's all yours.
well, thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. Proclaiming September 3rd to the 9th, 2023 National Payroll Week. Whereas the American Payroll Association and its more than 20,000 members have launched a nationwide public awareness campaign that pays tribute to the nearly 150 million people who work in the United States and the payroll professionals who support the American system by paying wages, reporting worker earnings, and withholding federal employment taxes. And whereas payroll professionals in the village of Carol Stream play a key role in maintaining the economic health of the village, carrying out such diverse tasks as paying into the unemployment insurance system, providing information for child support enforcement, and carrying out tax withholding, reporting, and depositing. And whereas payroll departments collectively spend more than $2.4 trillion annually complying with myriad federal and state wage and tax laws, and whereas payroll professionals play an increasingly important role ensuring the economic security of American families by helping to identify non-custodial parents and making sure they comply with their child support mandates. And whereas payroll professionals have become increasingly proactive in educating both the business community and the public at large about the payroll tax withholding systems. And whereas payroll professionals meet regularly with federal and state tax officials to discuss both improving compliance with government procedures and how compliance can be achieved at less cost to both government and business. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that Mayor Frank Savarino and the Carol Stream Village Board of Trustees, DuPage County, Illinois, in the exercise of its home rule powers, do hereby proclaim September 3rd through the 9th, 2023, National Payroll Week, and hereby give additional support to the efforts of the people who work in Carol Stream and in the payroll profession. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Geezer. Well read. And very important part of all of our businesses that help do that. Okay, addresses from the audience. Do we have anything that come off the internet? Nothing off the internet?
No, nothing online, just Commander Richard Hildebrand would like to speak.
Mr. Hildebrand? Mr. Hildebrand, where's your wife?
home with a broken foot.
Oh, jeez. Oh,
What'd you do?
I knew it
She
had to
tried to
be
kick me.
something. That's why I asked, because she's always with you.
Yeah. No, I'm here because Post has gotten around to finally making the donations that from the collection from the poppies sales in May. And I would like to have the chief come forward and accept our donation to the DARE program, because all the vets at the Carol Stream feel that the DARE program is a worthwhile program because it's both safety and youth. So it's two areas that the National VFW looks to sponsor. So with that, I'd like to give you our donation.
Thank you.
For this year, because I know school's just started.
It is.
So, and you know, that lady that spoke in front of me, she said a statement that is very, very true. The people here in Carroll Stream are extremely generous. We raise funds through the month of May with our poppy sales at Caputo's and Jewel. And then we have a jar at the bakery,
Sours?
Sours.
what?
Sours?
Sours Bakery and Tony Steamers. And what we collect from those two jars and the poppy sales is what we give away all year. And you'd be surprised at what we get from the community. And that's why I say I thank the community, because without them, we could not do anything. Thank you.
Thanks, Rich.
Well, you know, I always do this, and I know it's not on the agenda, but we have a representative from District 6 in the audience, Greg Swarzy. Greg, you want to say a few words? Bring us up to speed. I know there's a lot of excitement going on right now at the county.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I'd like to just say a few things, sort of along the lines of all the philanthropy that's been going on today. Okay, so the county earmarked back in 2021, $10 million to be, of ARPA funds to be specifically used for food security, home stability, housing stability, and mental health and addiction issues. The problem is, none of that money could be, you had to be an organization, a
501c3?
Thank you, 501c3, but you had to make over $300,000. And so that left out a lot of our smaller, organizations and that do good work. So in 2022, in the fall of 2022, we earmarked $1 million of ARPA interest money to be used specifically for small 501c3s. And we set it up so each district in the county, 6 districts, the representatives, which include me, as you know, and Jim Zay and Sheila Rutledge, Jim Zay obviously from Carroll Stream as well, we're the ones who get to pick and award those, go through all the applications in District 6 and make those awards. And I will say that I can't tell you who the winners are yet because we'll have to vote on it next week. But I will say in District 6, I think we had 4 or 5 organizations from Carroll Stream. They're all smaller 501c3s who aren't bringing in $300, $400, $500, $500,000 every year. They're smaller, but every little penny helps. And I was just really proud to see that we're going to have quite a few Carroll Stream entities win that award very, very soon, including somebody in this room, but I can't mention any names, so leave it at that.
Thank you.
So thank you very much for the time.
Oh, my pleasure, believe me. Anytime you got anything you need to get off to what's going on, we're always glad to hear it.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thanks, Greg.
Thanks, Greg.
Their motion to establish a consent agenda.
So moved?
Second.
Moved by trustee McCarthy, seconded by trustee Anselmo. Clerk, call a roll, please.
Trustee Anselmo.
Aye.
Trustee Berger.
Aye.
Trustee Zalick.
Aye.
Trustee Geezer.
Aye.
Trustee McCarthy.
Aye.
Madam Clerk, would you please read what is on the
Certainly.
consent agenda?
Staff reports and recommendations, 2023 pavement marking project. Approval of change order number 1 with Superior Road Striping, Inc. for a net increase of $1,915.28.
Yes.
Yes.
Waiver of competitive bidding and authorization to purchase one 2024 Ford Maverick pickup truck from Hawk Ford for an amount not to exceed $27,695.
Yes.
Yes.
Approval of a contract for service to Canon Solutions of America to replace the existing village copier fleet and provide ongoing service for a cost of $142,950 pursuant to the provisions of Chapter 5, Article 8, Section 5-8-14G of the Carroll Stream Code of Ordinances.
Yes.
Yes.
Resolutions. Resolution authorizing the execution of an agreement for regulation of parking of motor vehicles and traffic at the Wayne Township offices within the village of Carroll Stream.
Yes.
Yes.
That is resolution number 3320. Payment of bills. Regular bills, August 8th, 2023 through August 21st, 2023.
Yes.
Yes.
Addendum warrants, August 8th, 2023 through August 21st, 2023.
Yes. Yes.
Treasurer's report, revenue expenditure statements and balance sheet for the month ended July 31st, 2023.
Received.
And that concludes the items on the consent agenda, Mr.
Is there a
Mayor.
motion to put the items on the consent agenda?
So moved. Second.
Oh, moved by trustee Anselmo, seconded by trustee Zalik. Clerk, call the roll, please.
Trustee Anselmo.
Aye.
Trustee Berger.
Aye.
Trustee Zalik.
Aye.
Trustee Giesers.
Aye.
Trustee McCarthy.
Aye.
Is there a motion to approve those items by unanimous vote?
So moved?
Second?
Moved by trustee Giesers, seconded by trustee McCarthy. Clerk, call the roll, please.
Trustee Anselmo.
Aye.
Trustee Berger.
Aye.
Trustee Zalik.
Aye.
Trustee Giesers.
Aye.
Trustee McCarthy.
Aye.
Report officers.
Here we go.
There we go. Trustee Anselmo, let's hear it.
Oh, boy.
Everybody's bracing themselves. I promise to be gentle tonight. Good evening, everyone. Welcome, Officer Tim Foth. Hope I said that right. You're joining a great family of, as the mayor said, you're joining a great family of police community, so welcome aboard. Dave Creighton. Gosh, I mean, the mayor led the meeting off that way. I mean, what a great guy. I knew him for many years. He was a member of the Parks Foundation Planning Commission. He raised money for the Veterans Memorial Plaza that we do. We're attending that every Memorial Day and Veterans Day, Labor Day. He coached Little League Baseball. So, you know, I'm sure we all probably could share a story, but to keep things short, my heart goes out to his wife Ann and his kids. He was a good friend and will be missed. The whole community is going to miss him. The weekly neighborhood roll call, which I really favor, I encourage residents to go to, is going to be this week at Charger Court and Chattanooga Trail, so please go. Coral Cove Water Park is open Tuesday, tomorrow, and Wednesday from 4 to 7. Everybody's welcome to go to that. Police Department is holding a car seat check on Saturday, September 16th. So you get your child's car seat inspected. Fall Fest and the Car Show is Saturday, September 23rd, featuring the band American English, the Beatles cover band. Happy Labor Day, since I think we won't be together then. And of course, I'd like to finish with reminding everyone the kids are back in school. Please watch your speeds driving through town. We can look down the window right here and watch people going quick down the road. So please be mindful of your speeds. There's walkers, there's dog walkers, there's bus. That concludes my report.
That's it?
That's it.
Mr. Mayor, if I could jump in without letting it get too far, I just want to let everybody know that we are going to cancel neighborhood roll call this week. We're expecting some real high heat over the next 3 days, so we're going to cancel it.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, that's
move.
probably an excellent idea.
Trustee Anselmo, would you like to?
I retract
redo
my
your
statement.
report then?
Retract my statement.
Retract the entire one? Or-
Just that. I could start over and then omit that part.
Okay, well, that was wonderful.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Chief, for straightening that out, because they'd all be out there waiting for you to come.
Sweating.
I'll do-
had that on
All
my
of us.
report, that it was canceled.
Trustee Berger?
Thank you, and thank you for the quick delivery, Trustee Anselmo. I would also like to congratulate Officer Fouth. Am I saying that right? It is a great team to be a member of, and I'm glad that we go through so much scrutiny when we're picking our officers, and it shows. I also was at Dave Creighton's services before this meeting, and like you said, we all have a story about Dave, but he was involved in a lot of things, and we met, got to know each other, I should say, when our kids were in high school with the Music Boosters program. And we worked together on that, and we both kept getting involved after that. And I always wondered if Dave was going to run for village trustee at some point, because he was just involved in a lot of things and was a good guy. But the thing I'll always remember about Dave is no matter what was going on, when you saw him, no matter what he was going through, he had a smile on his face. Even when he was in the hospital, the text messages I have, you would think he was at a baseball game, texting you. So he always tried to keep things positive. Even when he was here addressing issues, he did the same. I'd like to wish good luck to all of the students and teachers going back. Most important on my own personal list is my daughter Emily, who started her second year of college today at Illinois State. And my oldest daughter will be starting her third year of teaching, I think in a week or two. So those are my two favorite people that are school-related. I would also like to...
Your wife school-related?
Huh?
Isn't your wife school-related?
Yeah, but she works year-round. She works year-round, so it doesn't, although she makes it sound like her summer vacation is over because her hours change a little bit, but, yeah, good luck to her, too. Good luck to just being married to me this long. Former residents of Carroll Stream, I would like to congratulate Rebecca Ellers, now Rebecca Anderson. She was married in Lincoln, Nebraska with, we had a small gathering of Carroll Stream people that were there. And they took a Carroll Stream picture when I was not with them. And I was a little offended, and I told them it wasn't official because they're missing the one trustee that was at the wedding. It was a beautiful ceremony. The only negative part, it was both the ceremony and the reception were outside. And I think it was 102 degrees when we started. So if I look thinner, it's not because I've been eating less, it's because I went to that wedding. But I would like to congratulate them as former residents of Carroll Stream, and that concludes my report.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing all that with us, too, because especially the airline pictures with you and your family going and coming. I was checking to see. I thought you posted the same picture twice, but you had different clothes on. I feel like a detective when I'm dealing with you. I don't know why.
And with the temperatures, yeah, we weren't going to be wearing the same clothes.
I'm just glad he didn't go on another cruise, because Facebook was overloaded with fact checks.
And it's funny, because I only had one person complain about that. And they're sitting on this board. Everyone else said they appreciated my photos from my
They're
trip.
lying.
I love your photos. I think they're terrific.
Don't be Facebook friends with a photographer if you don't like looking at pictures on Facebook.
Your post was precious last week with the pictures that you put in there. I can't tell you how many people have called me and how many people have answered that post. That
was an awesome post.
Phenomenal post that you put out there, and it was from your heart, and I could tell that the way you put it. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, I have to interrupt. I forgot something on my
Your time
report.
already. Wait a
Oh,
second.
no,
I have to, before I go further, I have to wish my wife a happy second anniversary.
Oh, yeah, you do.
Yeah, it's important.
Add that to my report, please.
We're already in the doghouse because you forgot to include
There we
it in
go.
your.
I saw and
I
I'm
actually
like,
had it written on
You know
mine.
that-
I was gonna do
You
it.
know this is on television, and you know she already knows you forgot.
I don't think she's watching either, so
I'm gonna make sure she watches it.
We'll let her know.
pass the word.
Oh, my God. Okay, trustee Zalik.
Thank you. Congratulations to Officer Fouth. You're joining an award-winning police department, and I'm sure you'll do well. My thank you to all the residents that contributed throughout the summer concert series. And let's keep our thoughts and prayers to military and first responders, and that concludes my report. Subsequent to Trustee Anselmo's report.
Thank you. I too would like to welcome Officer Fouth. You're happy that you joined us, but when I think the chief said his age, I was like, that's my kid's age. So, but with people that young and eager and talented, we're going to have them here in Carroll Stream for a long time, serving and protecting, so thank you. Chief Homer also mentioned something, as he corrected Trustee Anselmo, that the heat is coming up, so it's going to be hot. So please check in on your neighbors, especially if they have compromised or they're older citizens. Just please check in on your neighbors, make sure everybody's doing fine. And like the others, trustees mentioned Dave Creighton. I ran into the mayor at the service this afternoon. As we mentioned, he served on the Planning and Zoning Board and many other local organizations within the community. This man loved his family, friends, and community, and Trustee Zalek, he loved his White Sox.
He did.
He did. He always had a smile on his face and a ball cap on his head. So he was a terrific friend. I feel privileged. I know each of us feel privileged to have known him and him and his family. And I'm going to miss him. I know the community's going to miss him. So tomorrow there will be a funeral, and I will be wearing my favorite Hawaiian shirt in honor of Dave. And I'll be wearing it proudly to honor and to celebrate his life. So that's my report.
Thank you, Trustee Keiser. Trustee McCarthy.
And I'll agree with everybody else. Welcome aboard, Timothy Fouth. Great to have, another younger person working their way through our police department so they can learn from a lot of our senior staff and carry on how well our police department works. I'm going to jump on the Dave Creighton bandwagon. I've known Dave since we were baseball commissioners together, is where we got to know each other. And then through when he was on the planning commission, and then when he moved on over to the Parks Foundation and talked me into going down the slide with ducks during the duck race. And then the vet memorial, we partnered up and had a concert, and he never asked of anything from anyone more than he was willing to give. And I think that's important. Somebody who's not afraid to work just as hard as everybody else and not just wait for everybody else to do it. And I think that was a perfect example. The mayor said that, he came in with a concern about parking with a solution. And that was Dave, along with a smile on his face all the time and a proud word for his family every chance you gave him a chance to speak about him. And that's something that makes a great person. He absolutely will be missed. And our thoughts and prayers go with his family, his wife, his kids. And I know he'll be looking down and making sure everybody stays on the straight and narrow and saying, "Go Sox." Maybe he can help us out with that too. Yesterday, there was a celebration of life and fundraiser for Dan Staffy. And it was great seeing how many people showed up and told stories and bought raffle tickets and bottles of wine and everything else. But it was just good to see the fire department was there, on and off duty police were there, neighbors, friends, family, retirees, from chiefs on down. And it was fantastic to see that it doesn't stop. The caring and the looking out for each other doesn't stop. People could have moved on, unfortunately, it happens, but they didn't. They were there ready to help a little bit more. And as you've heard tonight, that's Carol Stream. So I want to thank everybody who had the opportunity to show up and celebrate Dan Staffy. Besides that, again, I'll agree with what everybody else said on the board and try not to double up on anything. If anybody's bored on Wednesday, I'll be doing a guest bartender contest over at Chrissy's. The winner of the 2-month-long contest, Chrissy's will make a donation to the charity of their choice. The one I chose is Violet's Kitchen. We're hoping that we get some donations on Wednesday along with, we're going to go for the win, so we're hoping to fill the place. The winner is the one who has the most sales over the course of the night throughout. And so if you have a chance, I'd love you to stop by and help out a great small charity, just like Trustee Schwarzy talked about, not the big ones that are talking tons of money. They're happy when they get $100 because they're small. So if you have a chance, come on out. If you don't, that's okay. It's just going to be fun more than anything. Besides that, with school starting, I'm going to keep hammering on the crosswalks. People still, it amazes me how many people drive through try that again. It amazes me how many people drive through crosswalks when there's people in them. And if there's kids, if they're at the curb, stop. Let them cross. None of us are in such a hurry that we can't let some people safely cross the street and get on with wherever they're going. So please pay attention. And if you own dogs, it's a pet peeve of mine because when I cut my grass and step in things, bring your bags, clean up after your dogs. It's real simple. Just have bags with you. There's garbage cans on a lot of the walkways and sidewalks if you pass a park or somewhere else. But don't just keep going. It's rude and it's just not right. So please, please, clean up after your pets. Besides that, summer's not over. Keep enjoying the summer. Have a great time. We do have a Fall Fest coming up that Brianna will talk about here shortly. So enjoy, be careful in the weather. The heat's coming up. Make sure you stay well hydrated, and like Trustee Geezer said, check on those who need a little hand to check on, so we make sure everybody's safe. That's the end of my report.
What are your drink specials, Matt? For Christie's?
Smoked Manhattans and smoked Old Fashions.
So is it like all the alcohol that's sold?
Food and alcohol.
Food and alcohol.
Yeah,
I
from
was gonna tell
5:30
the
to
chief-
11:30.
The chief to stand by with some extra guys. We know right where all the drunks are gonna be taking care of Trustee McCarthy here Wednesday night. Okay.
His own smoker.
Brianna, Assistant Village Manager?
Thanks, Mayor. I just wanted to remind everyone about our Fall Fest coming up on Saturday, September 23rd over at the Town Center. We have a great lineup of activities planned, starting with the car show from 10 to 3. We'll have kids' activities, crafts, face painting throughout most of the day from 11 to 6:30. We'll have a bunch of different food trucks available and drinks provided by the Rotary Club through their beer garden. And of course, we'll have the band American English playing that day from 4:30 to 6:30. So save the date. I'm looking forward to seeing everyone there on the 23rd. And just with the heat coming this week, I'd like to remind everyone that there are several cooling centers available throughout DuPage County. That information's available on our website. The library is also a cooling center for anyone who needs those. Please take advantage with the heat. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. Julia Swarzy?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you. So I too was a friend of Dave's and just was over at the wake this afternoon, and it was amazing to see so many Carol Streamians there. He had so many friends, and it's because he was such a wonderful person, and I wish we could have more people like Dave in this world. I received a card when my dad died, and I think of this phrase every time someone passes away that lived like my dad, and I think Dave was a lot like my dad. And the quote is, "A life well lived is one that adds to the beauty, the goodness, and the love in the world." And again, I think that embodied Dave, so he will be terribly missed, and my heart goes out to his family. Also, just wanted to say, if we can keep Trustee Fruzzoloni in our thoughts and prayers, as her mom is now in hospice, and I know she wishes she could be here tonight, and I'm sure she would have loved to be with Dave's family today as well. So just to keep Trustee Fruzzoloni in our thoughts and prayers as well. And also wanted to say thank you to everybody who came out to the concerts this year, bought the raffle tickets. Thank you, Trustee Geezer, for selling the raffle tickets. It's great to see that we were able to raise money for the neighborhood food pantries. So wonderful. Also, congratulations to new officer Timothy Fouth. I think that one thing that Chief Homer mentioned, he has a background in conflict resolution, which I think would be wonderful for the police department. So we always need officers with that kind of a background. And glad to have him on the team. And happy anniversary to both our dear friends, the Anselmos, Joe and Jen Anselmo, as well as Bob and Kim Peroni, who are also very good volunteers in our community. They both got married on the same day 2 years ago, is that right? Crazy. So, oh, three?
Two. Yeah,
Two,
crazy,
2 years
crazy.
ago. Yeah, so congratulations, happy anniversary. And also wishing all students and teachers a smooth and successful school year. And last but not least, don't forget to shop and dine in Carol Stream.
Thank you. Hillary, do you have anything you'd like to cover?
I just echo the welcome to Officer Tim Fouth and the condolences to the Creighton family.
Thank you. Thank you. It's nice to have you with us.
Oh, it's great to be
Always a
here.
pleasure. Usually I see you when we're doing fines and we're taking down bad people. But thank you for being with us tonight. Mr. Meller, Village Manager.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. First, I'd like to thank Commander Rich Hillebrand for his generous donation from your volunteers and your fellow veterans. This is the second meeting where they provided a check to the village. The other one was for Operation Support Our Troops. We really appreciate it. Okay. We can count on you. Congratulations to Patty Battaglia, who's been promoted to Permit Systems Coordinator, effective October 2nd. Patty was previously the Permitting and Planning Assistant in Community Development. She will be taking over the job from Jane Lentino, who is retiring in October. So if a resident comes in or somebody needs a building permit, that will be the person who will be greeting them. Finally, the September 5th Village Board meeting will be canceled due to lack of Village Board matters needing attention. So our next Village Board meeting will be September 18th. That's all I have. Yep.
Thank you, Mr. Miller.
You're welcome.
Welcome aboard, Timothy Fouth, new police officer. Nice, young, tall, perfect-looking guy, so good to have him. I know the girls are all smiling when he was up here, but it's amazing, I gotta tell you. Well, I know he'll do good. His brother that was here is also a police officer, which is, I thought maybe the father was a police officer, because kind of like runs in the family, but it's the two boys and not the dad. But I think he'd rather be a police officer. I don't know what he does, but it's okay. We talked about Dave Crichton. I can't say enough about the guy. I mean, hearing Trustee Geezer talk and everybody else that knows him, Trustee Berger, I mean, he was somebody that tried to make it different and try and make it better all the time. And that's something that we strive on, sitting up here trying to find those people that come in and make that presentation on something that we could lean on to come on a committee or get on some either planning commission, get on the police and fire commission, get on something to get involved, and hopefully that they'll get involved. And he took that to the next level. So I appreciate it. I feel really bad for his wife and two children. I'm sure they're gonna need help. And my comment to them when I was there at the wake this afternoon, let us know if you need something. If we could, we'll do whatever we could. Usually Mary is the point person on all of that, and Mary has got her own problems with her mom not doing well, and it's just a matter of time, and she's out in Arizona right now, and I know she feels bad because when the matriarch of the family is going down, and not everybody is there, but being in Arizona makes it impossible for everybody to go to be with her. And trust me, we've been through it. The worst thing is to wait for someone to pass day after day after day. And you know it's gonna happen, and it builds a momentum that it is hard to even explain. And then it ends, and then you're relieved, but it never goes away. So if you pray, say a prayer for Mary and her family. They'll need it. The food bank mentioned that Grunstyle gave them 700 pounds of food. Well, we have somebody in the audience actually brought food. The chief actually showed up at the Grunstyle Car Show. Did you have a bag of food this year?
No, sir, not this year.
That wasn't you, huh? Okay, yeah, okay, I got it. So anyway, they did a food drive at the car show, and that's where the food ended up. So I'm gonna figure out a way to get them two together where they could work, because the people at Grunstyle, I can't say enough about them. We all know, most of us that were here when they first came in and wanted to open up, they have absolutely not received a penny from the federal government. I asked them a question when they first came in, and I got to meet them. So how much the government give you? And he got angry with me. And nothing. He said, we don't get anything from them. And it's like, they don't give us anything. So it's like, okay, how'd you do this? With our own money and volunteers. And they built that. When you look at what they built there, Grunstyle has become a national brand, believe it or not. I mean, it's like, you watch television, course, some of the programs you gotta watch to see the people wearing grunt-style shirts. They're out there. I got a bunch of them. I love their shirts. You just gotta buy them and be careful what they say on them. You'll get yourself in trouble. But they are very giving, and all of those people, not all of them that work there, probably about 35 or 40% of those people that work there are all from the military. And it doesn't matter what branch. And they take care of their own. They really do. And putting this car show on and then making a food drive out of it at the same time is phenomenal. They have been very giving at the Staffy. Yesterday was another one. Yesterday, my wife hasn't been out of the house for more than 20 minutes to go to the doctor. She sat there yesterday for 4 hours because she wanted to be there. I put her in a wheelchair, and she was not taking no for an answer. She wanted to go. Because Dan Staffy, in my opinion, and a lot of people's opinion, is what a true superhero is. He was a superhero. He touched so many people and helped so many people and never looked for anything back. And when you see the police officers that showed up there, the past police officers that are retired, what you didn't mention is they brought their families. A lot of them, their wives were there. I never met their wives. They brought their kids. And that's something we never get to see because we see them in uniform, and then to see them all out of uniform at the same time, and to be there all supporting the family, the Staffy family. And I said tonight, the police department family. It is a family, and they take care of each other. And it was amazing at the gifts that they had, the raffle prizes that they have, and what was donated. And from what I understand, it's all going to the Staffy family, which is going to be very helpful because he still has, I guess, one of the children is still in college and wants to go on to be a doctor or on to, we all know what that costs. So anything we could do to help was wonderful. But my wife surprised me to sit there that long. And those of us that were there had a chance to buy challenge coins with his picture on it. And I will keep mine. I have a few other challenge coins and some pictures of him and the police department at some of the times that they've got different awards. And I'm honored to just be around them because what they do is it just, keeping us safe is an important thing to me. And they've done a good job with that. And again, the Staffy family, our heart goes out to you. It hasn't been 6 months, I don't think, since he actually passed. It was the beginning in January, was it, or February? That we had it was like it was yesterday, I mean, to me, and just terrible. And then we lose people like that, young, and then we lose Crichton at 54, or was he 54 years old?
54, yeah.
I mean, it's just sad when you think about it, the people that we can lean on to get the most done and to help the most people without looking for anything back seem to be
The ones we lose.
taken at the wrong time. So, that being said, it's sad. So anyway, thank you, Mr. Hildebrand, always. I know how hard you've worked to raise a small amount of money and sit there all them hours, and you're always giving it away, which is commendable. I thank you, and I thank your guys for what you do, and that's probably one of the reasons for what you do is why we worked so hard to help build that memorial. You deserve that, and the military, everybody deserves that. So thank you for what you do.
It was 4 good years. I tell you, the support that we got from the community, all of the organizations that were involved. I mean, I can't name all of them, I keep forgetting, I'll miss some. But the mayor knows because he was there, but Rick knows especially because he stayed in on all those meetings on Saturday mornings for 4 years. Once a month, every Saturday, we had a meeting. And there was the Park District, we had the Village Board, we had the Chamber of Commerce, we had the VFW, the American Legion, a couple of concerned citizens, and a few other organizations that were in there. And we always had a meeting on the first Saturday of the month until that thing was built.
Well, Rick was our point guy to work with us with the Park District. Matt and I were trying to figure out how to raise the money. Because Rick had spent his time with yous, but we had to figure out how that money was gonna be. Because every time we turned around, we added something, added, and it finally come to fruition. And it's just amazing to be out there now and see what it turned out to be.
Fantastic.
So, but thank you, and I know how hard you've worked to raise the money, so.
Thank you for those wonderful pictures. We haven't done anything yet with them with the aerial shots, but we will.
Well, yeah, my grandson was out there with his drone and took pictures at your request, and then we got them to you. And they are just magnificent pictures of the whole memorial, so. So with that, we won't have a meeting in September?
Until the end of September.
Second meeting will be in, okay. Happy anniversary. You got married on the same day as the Peronis did?
I did. You married the
You know,
Peronis.
You know, I married them right here in this room.
Yeah.
And you could have did a double. We
Should've
could've
did
done
that.
it, you know, for the same
Double.
price, I got nothing. I could have got nothing twice. It would've been just-
Double time.
That would have been wonderful. I don't know if I knew you that well then. I don't think I would have married you because I didn't know you.
Since we're not going to be here the first week in September, happy anniversary to my wife.
Happy anniversary.
Yeah, married. Now we don't want to forget nothing. Now
See?
we don't
See?
want anybody else
Almost
to
did.
say Anything but their wives.
Any other anniversaries that we're gonna miss?
I'm just happy that my wife was able to go with me yesterday and spend the 4 hours.
She looked great.
And, well, it's amazing when the stories that she heard about Dan Staffy made her to the point where she was going either with me or without me. So I put her in the wheelchair and took her there, and she sat there like a trooper for 4 hours, never complained, and was very happy. And I know how many people were really happy to see her there because they haven't seen her for a long time. So thank you all for treating us the way you do, and I'm just fortunate that I get to sit here in a town like Carroll Stream, and I could say I'm the mayor, and I have a board like this, and people working in this community that work here. Yous make this community is what it is, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate that. It is a community of people, and I thank you. So with that, motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by trustee McCarthy, seconded by trustee Zalek. Clerk, call the roll, please.
Trustee Anselmo.
Aye.
Trustee Bridger.
Aye.
Trustee Zalek.
Aye.
Trustee Giesert.
Aye.
Trustee McCarthy.
Aye.
Meeting is adjourned.